We've had some pretty cool JRPG spinoffs come out recently with Pokopia, Monster Hunter Stories 3, and it got us thinking about spinoffs in general for the JRPG genre and how there are some really awesome ones out there. So we wanted to talk today about what makes a great spinoff for some of these franchises. And then at the end of this episode, we want to give you guys a nice, neat little top 10 JRPG spinoffs of games that we love that we would highly recommend. But before we get into it, Mags, how's it going?
Hey, it's going. It's extremely busy right now in my life with work and planning for an eventual trip to Japan.
I hear that.
But I
But
am,
Japan, let's
but
go.
yeah, it's amazing. It's coming up soon, but I'm still getting some gaming time in as well. And I just finished Tokyo Xanadu. It is Xanadone,
Yeah.
and I've been wanting to say that forever. Um, so
Done. That was
So
crazy.
that's been a really fun game. I actually spent more time with it than I expected. I was about 55 hours into
Okay.
it when it was done. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's from Falcom, who has developed the Trail series and the East series. It's kind of a mix of both of those games, or both of those franchises in terms of gameplay. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. And it's got me excited for Kyoto Xanadu because by the time that I finished this one, there's definitely some like loose ends that the game
Mm,
doesn't really tie up with the story and with like the overall mystery of what's happening. Um,
interesting.
so
Okay.
I'm super glad I played it now. And I would recommend it to those who are like excited about Kyoto Xanadu and like what Falcom is doing with that game, because I think there's definitely going to be some connections there and
Mm,
perhaps like some more exploration into like the lore and like what's going on. But overall, the game was solid. I think if you like the Trail series, you'll enjoy it. It kind of has the same sort of like good character development, engaging story with more of the gameplay of East in terms of action combat and being able to like switch elements and weapons depending on the character. The only thing that I would advise like against it is that it does have some platforming segments that just really don't
mm.
feel like they fit into the experience. They don't really show up until like maybe 2/3 of the way through the game, and by that point, you're kind of used to the flow of the dungeons where you don't really feel like you need it. And they also just feel kind of clunky. Like there were so many times where I'm just like, I feel like my character is not responding well to my control
Yeah.
inputs. Like it's just not, it doesn't feel like very cohesive or that it's flowing well. So that would be my only like knock against it. And so if you're
Mm.
not a fan of platforming, it might not be something that you want to try. But otherwise, if you're looking for a good JRPG that doesn't require any sort of background knowledge, but is kind of like, or it has, I guess, that like Falcom formula, this might be a good one to try. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did either of you guys ever play Maple Story?
Mm-hmm. I've played it.
Oh, I'm
Did you ever
not.
do did you ever
No.
do any of the jump quests in Maple Story back in the day?
I don't think so.
Was it like a
Okay.
platforming
It
segment?
it was a platforming nightmare. What they would
Oh,
do is they would have
no.
this map that was super tall, and
Mm-hmm.
then they would have platforms that you would have to go all the way up, and it was brutal. It was absolutely
Mm.
brutal. And if you fell, you would usually it wasn't like, oh, we have something to catch you.
Yeah.
Like you could
Mm-mm.
jump up 100 platforms, and if you fall, that's it. You just have to start over.
Oh, that's so
So
unforgiving.
yeah,
Yeah.
you could take literally like 3 or 4 hours to finish a jump quest if you weren't particularly good at it. So after that, very few platforming sequences have bothered me.
That would definitely like,
Yeah,
yeah. Most would
yeah.
probably fare a lot better than that. I'm not a platforming fan. Like that's just not my thing. And I totally like understand like if it is your thing and you enjoy it. It's
Well, it
just
doesn't
not
fit in
mine.
Tokyo Xanadu. Like it's weird that they got that
No,
in there.
it's
So
it's one of those things where it's like if they had it like from the beginning on, I wouldn't have been as
sure.
frustrated, but it was like here's a random platforming segment and then from there on, like the last third of the game, you had that stuff and it just felt like there wasn't like a really good build into it to where like
Mm,
it felt like the mechanics like progressed into something that was meaningful. It just kind of felt like, oh, we're just going to throw this in here because it's like something we can do to mix up the dungeons, which
yeah, yeah.
didn't really need to happen, but it was still good. I'm glad that I played it, and I'm glad I kind of got to see what Falcom could do with something outside of Trails and East. because those are
Yeah.
like their like cornerstone franchises. So this was kind of a cool like experimental thing for them, and I liked it. So
Yeah. Word.
Yeah.
Slam, how's it going, homie?
Hey, it's going well. I also very much enjoyed Tokyo Xanadu. I played it a couple of years ago. I want to replay it before Kyoto Xanadu, but I don't know if I'm going to have time. We'll see.
Well, and we don't know about like when Kyoto Xanadu is going to release. We still don't have like information on a Western
It's just
release.
Japanese now, right? Yeah.
That's coming in July, like in Japan. So there might be more time than you think.
Yeah. And I still have to get back to the Cold Steel games. I got to get back to Cold Steel 2 and then try to make my way through Cold Steel this year. We'll see how that goes.
Gotta get that
I'm still
reward.
pretty confident that I could do it. It's only March. All right.
I believe in you.
Okay. I've been playing a lot of Pokopia, obviously. Still loving that game. So glad that I got Brandon to also play it. I'm sure he'll talk about that here soon.
Yep, didn't take much.
Yeah, it's great.
It looks adorable.
Yeah, I finished the main story, and now I'm just doing all the stuff I wanted to do while I was playing the main story. So I'm doing all the terraforming and building up the different areas, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's so addictive. It's really easy to lose time, blackout, just be like, oh my gosh, I just lost hours to just getting everything done that I wanted to do. And then you'll be like, oh, I just got to get this build started before I go to bed. So that way it's ready when I come back and play tomorrow.
5 hours later.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I've been playing Pokopia, but I also started and have played a ton of Monster Hunter Stories 3. I'm in love with that game. I think this is just such a massive upgrade from 2. I mean, I don't think I've seen a jump in just overall quality across the board from one game to another in a series before.
That's awesome.
I mean, graphically, it looks so good. I will say that I have played the Switch 2 and the PS5 version. Shout out to Capcom for the Switch 2 code. But I also got the physical for PS5 because I wanted a physical copy of that one. Thanks, Brandon, for getting me hooked on collecting physical games.
You're welcome. You are absolutely welcome.
Yes.
It's like a trade-off between that and Pokopia.
And
yeah, we had a conversation on the side where we were like, are we bad for each other?
It's so funny. Or maybe we're great. Right? You know,
let's go with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Agreed.
Thank you.
100%.
I will say, like, if you have the choice, I would definitely play it and like frame rate and graphics and all those things matter to you and performance is like important to you. I would play it on PC or PlayStation. The Switch 2 version has an unlocked frame rate and it made me super dizzy playing it because it just jumps so much. It's a little blurry. It's not like unbearable, but I expected a lot better in terms of performance for the Switch 2. I don't think it's there, especially after seeing what we saw from Resident Evil 9 on the Switch 2 from Capcom. It's just surprising that Monster Hunter Stories 3 is just so far below it in terms of performance. And I've seen a lot of, great performing games on the Switch 2 lately. Like, been really surprised. Like Ease 10, for example, running flawlessly, looking amazing at 120 frames. So like seeing Monster Hunter Stories 3 like kind of just barely chug along on the Switch 2 is disappointing to me. But the game is great. Overall, the experience is amazing. It's everything I could have like asked for out of a Monster Hunter Stories game. I am obsessed with collecting and getting all the things needed for different gear sets, different weapon sets. I love how layered the combat system is. So you've got the triangle system from Monster Hunter Stories 2. I'm not sure if that was in Monster Hunter Stories 1. I can't remember. But you've got the technical speed and power
For
attack.
yeah. I think it was.
I think that's like been the core of it.
That was in 1 too. It's been forever since I played 1.
Yeah, same.
And then they have like 3 different weapons, right, that you can have equipped at any time, and you can hot swap between those, and then you can control the move sets of your monstie as well, and then you can swap between them. And then in the open world, you can even navigate different areas of the open world depending on what kind of monstie. I gotta like force myself to say that.
Not monster, monstie.
You can like hot swap between them to access different areas, which is really nice. There's just a lot going on, a lot to do in the game, and the characters are great. I love Eleanor. She's amazing, super cool character. And yeah, I'm probably, I want to say like 20 hours or so in. And I don't think it's a super long game. I think you could probably beat it in like 30 to 40. So maybe I'm like halfway, maybe a little over halfway through.
Nice. Yeah.
But I am
I didn't realize that.
I am kind of like obsessed with over leveling, because I do get wrapped up in like trying to get gear sets, and doing that, you have to defeat monsters to get different parts and then collect those parts. And I'm like, oh, I need to stop trying to collect gear sets, because I'm just like mowing through it whenever I get to like certain parts of the story or whatever. I'm definitely pulling a Brandon here.
I was going to say, that sounds great.
Yeah, it's a great game. Having a ton of fun with it. So that's what I've been up to.
Very good. Good stuff. Yeah, for me, things have been busy. They're starting to slow down a little bit for me. So I'm like getting a little bit more time to get some gaming time in. I've been split between just continuing to do Pokemon Fire Red every now and again. I did get Pokopia. I was sitting there with my girls, and Laura Lee went, "Daddy, why don't you have Pokopia?" And I was like, "Who told you about this game?" And she was like, "Oh, one of my friends at school." And I was like, So eventually I caved, and we started it together, and they were obsessed with it. They loved like seeing Pokemon pop out of the grass and finding new Pokemon, and like they love the Kanto starters, probably because of, Daddy. So when they saw Squirtle show up, and they saw, Charmander and Bulbasaur show up for the first time, they were like losing their minds. So I haven't beat the main story. We finished the first area and got to the second and third areas. So I'm working through some of that. Slowly but surely, but it really is just a very well done game. It's kind of addicting because it rewards like every part of the loop. So whether that's like you're terraforming and making the place better, if you're finding Pokemon, if you're building habitats, like if you're crafting things, like all of that stuff is constantly rewarded. So it's addicting because there's just this constant loop that's happening. And yeah, it really is exciting to find like the big Pokemon. Like I had Blastoise and Venusaur show up, and that was super exciting. I had Tyranitar show up, who's like one of my favorites. And I knew that I could get, I didn't know this, sorry. I got a Larvitar, and I was like, maybe the same habitat will give me a Tyranitar, but like, I'm still excited that I got Larvitar. And then Tyranitar showed up, and I was just like, you're immediately coming into my home, because I just built a home for myself where you can invite friends. So, Tyranitar, is in my little iron hut, because he needs to be.
He's your bestie.
So that's been a lot of fun. Yeah. And I'm getting back to finishing Dragon Quest.
Let's go.
Because we're gonna do something for that. Yeah. Which has been hilarious, because I already grinded out all of the jobs. And so like I'm getting into some of these boss fights, and before they can attack me, I will kill them. Especially if I'm psyched up, because like the main character, I named him Austere. I think that's like the canon name. He is a champion and hero mix, and there's this sword called like something like the ultimate sword power or something like that. It's like a really strong move, but then the champion has a psych up skill that allows you to attack like it triples your character. So there's 3 of you when you attack, and so when I do that attack, I do like 3,000 damage, and that's just like one character. And then I have, you know, like my sage setup, and then I have like the whole setup just makes it so that I can just absolutely demolish everything. So I really just need to get through to the end because there's nothing stopping me from beating this game at this point.
Yeah.
It's already easy for a Dragon Quest game, but then I did what I always do and grinded it out, and so I am just like nothing can touch me right now. So I'll get there. I'll beat that soon. It's just a matter of getting through the story and stuff. So yeah, loving it though. I'm having a good time with it. It is. I do think my general critique, which we'll talk about later, is like this one I don't think is as balanced as the other ones. The other ones had easy mode that felt more balanced with the overall experience. This game just feels like, hey, do you not want to play the game?
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Oh.
Here's your
gonna,
option.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll get back to that one, having fun with that. But yeah. I was about to transition or try to transition into into these spin-off games, but you know, Dragon Quest has spin-offs, and so we should talk about spin-offs because, you know, that totally makes sense.
First, member questions.
Yes.
At the end.
Oh, yes. Okay, so thank you, Slam.
You got
We're
it.
going to be taking our member questions that we have. So first of all, shout outs to all of our members. If you haven't seen this already, or if you're new to the channel, we have membership on YouTube. And if you join our membership, you have the opportunity each week to ask us QA questions. Sometimes we'll do full QA episodes, but then every week we'll do some of these membership questions. We are going to timestamp it and we're going to move it to the back so that we can jump into the topic up front for everybody, especially on our listening platforms. But we will be answering those, and we have some really great questions this week. So stick around for that. But with that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and jump into this and talk about spin-offs, because we have had Pokopia, which is very different, but incredibly well done and very Pokemon, which I think is going to be a good aspect to the spin-off conversation. And Monster Hunter Stories is a spin-off series now, not just single game, to the Monster Hunter games. So we're going to chat about that. But first, for you guys, just at a high level, like, what are the things about these spin-offs that stand out to you in terms of what makes a good spin-off? Like, what makes these spin-offs work or not work, I guess?
Mags, you want to go
Slam,
first?
start with
Oh,
you.
you're going to start with me?
Oh.
Rock, paper, scissors? No.
It doesn't matter.
Mags, you go ahead.
I'll go. Sure. So I think, like, for a spinoff, you still have to maintain parts of the core experience of, like, the franchise, right? That it's spinning off of. Like, you have to have what people love about that, but also find a balance between something that is completely different, whether it's like, mainly it's like a gameplay style, right? Like, if you're thinking about Monster Hunter and Monster Hunter Stories in particular, like, you still kind of have to have like an engaging gameplay loop. You have the monsters, but the way that you engage with those systems is completely different in those two things. In the mainline Monster Hunter, you kind of have like the grind, you have the gameplay loop, you're hunting the monsters. Whereas in Stories, you're working with the monsters, but you still have kind of like that engaging gameplay loop, and there's more of like a story happening, as the title suggests. So I think what makes a good spinoff is that it can find a good middle ground. It can still retain what's great about a mainline series, but then offer something new that could even bring in new fans that may not even play the mainline games. Because I know for me personally, like, I've tried over and over again to play the Monster Hunter games. I've tried playing with friends who are like obsessed with them, and I just could not get into it. And I honestly felt bad hunting the monsters and like seeing them start limping and like, I don't know, just like having a hard time. But when I tried Stories, I was like, this is perfect. Like, I see why people love Monster Hunter, but it's because I was able to like digest it in a different way with a different experience. Like one that was more story focused, more collaborative with the monsties, where it didn't feel like you were like just trying to destroy them all the time. You were stealing their eggs, but like you can kind of put that
instead
to
of
the
killing their
side.
moms, you're stealing the mom's eggs, and that's totally fine. Yep.
Right. You can't think about it too hard. Right. It works in my brain. I don't know.
I feel like
Don't
that's
ask me
true
to
for
explain
most
it.
JRPGs, though.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Pokemon, let's have monsters kill each other.
And let's put them in tiny little like balls where they can't even
and
do
put
anything.
them in a computer. They'll be fine. They're totally happy. Their quality of life is great.
Right. So I think it has to have those things. And I think when you even see spinoffs create their own like series, that's when you know that like they've been able to forge that balance. So I think that's what you have to have when you have a good spinoff.
I would agree. You made some very good points. It has to have that core, and it has to use it in different and creative ways to ultimately kind of attract a different audience, right? To the wider series. Like you said, you might not like the core Monster Hunter games because the gameplay style is not for you, right? But there's some elements in there that interest you or interest a lot of people. And so then you put out something like Monster Hunter Stories, where you have a great story, great, well-written characters. You have all of those like core concepts that hook you in the gameplay loop for Monster Hunter, which is, hunting monsters to get the gear sets and the weapon sets and all that stuff. But you have, more of a story to kind of get through. I'm going to use...
And that can maybe ground you in the experience more for certain people versus like some people just want that loop. Like they just want to hunt the next monster and then get to the next strongest monster and so on.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll use a little bit of Pokopia too, because we've talked about it so much and the game is amazing. It is vastly different from what we're used to, even from Pokemon spinoffs. Pokemon's had a ton of spinoffs. You've got the Legend series, which are very much aligned with mainline Pokemon games, but have some smaller differences. But then you've got something like Pokopia, where it's just a completely different genre of game. And I think it's really interesting to see how people have reacted and kind of like flocked to Pokopia as this huge... It is like the best rated Pokemon game in a really long time.
People love it.
Yeah. And so, it's cool seeing that a lot of people attach to the Pokemon. They resonate with the Pokemon. It's one of the big reasons why people love the Pokemon series. So having a game where the Pokemon are the core concept, they are what like pushes the gameplay loop forward. They do everything in Pokopia. They help you build. Finding Pokopia or finding Pokemon in Pokopia is super, super rewarding, but it's also just an added element to your toolkit. You can build new things when you find new Pokemon. Some Pokemon will teach you new moves. You can use those moves to terraform the world. And it's just great when a spinoff can take the core concepts, identify what people really like about those original games, and then use them in really new and creative ways to allow people to connect with the game and the series on a different level. And ultimately, your main goal is to hopefully take some of those new people that maybe haven't connected with Pokemon for a really, really long time and then got into Pokopia. Maybe the next Pokemon game that comes out, Winds and Waves, they're going to be like, you know what? I really fell in love with a lot of those Pokemon and Pokopia.
I'm feeling Pokemon now.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'm in that groove, so let me check out Winds and Waves. And it's just, that's what a good spinoff does, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I think Pokopia is interesting too, because it is taking some of the core concepts that make the identity of a Pokemon game, like the collectopedia-ness, and they even expand it out, right? So yeah, you have a Pokedex like every Pokemon game, but you have like a habitat dex,
Yep.
right? Where
Oh,
as you're
okay.
building and you're terraforming and you're sort of digging into the world, you find like hints about where Pokemon are, but you also can buy like habitat hints as well that show you what you can build, and those things all interconnect, right? So you'll have some habitats that you can build that are only going to have one Pokemon show up, but there are a lot of habitats you can build where like 4 or 5 or even 6 Pokemon could show up, and there's different rarities. So you start getting into, okay, what are the habitats? How many should I create? Like, what should be most represented in this space to have the highest chance of getting these Pokemon? And then, to Slam's point earlier, you find the Pokemon, which goes to your Pokedex, and then they can use, or you can use those Pokemon to build and do other things in your area. So it's like all connected, taking some of these core concepts for Pokemon. So it's not just like a Minecraft clone, although it's very obviously based off of a Minecraft concept. It's taking that and making it something entirely new by adding the core concepts from the series. And I think for me, a really great example of that, and actually one that we saw an evolution of, was the Warriors games. So I know like the Warriors games are not everybody's cup of tea, but when they first came out with Hyrule Warriors, the very first one, I played it. Like there's some addicting elements of it, and it was cool to see Zelda in that format. But like I personally didn't love it. Like story wise, it wasn't as compelling for me. There was a lot of fan servicey stuff in there that like didn't necessarily. It was confusing for me personally, and it ended up just feeling a little bit like a grind. So I had fun with it for, I don't know, call it a good 20, 30 hours, and then I was like, all right, I'm good. But then they continued coming out with these Warriors games. So next they had like Fire Emblem Warriors. And the first Fire Emblem Warriors, I'm like, this is really interesting because now they're taking core concepts from Fire Emblem and they're pulling it in here, and it impacts how they did the map design and all these kinds of things. And then you're getting, the fan service of like seeing all these characters that you love. I'm like, okay. But then they kept stepping it forward, so that I don't remember the order of this, so forgive me if this is like historically not the chronological order. But then we ended up getting Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, which was based on Breath of the Wild, so there was a story component added to it, and everything felt a little bit more meaningful. And then they had Fire Emblem Three Hopes, which was a way better representation.
I haven't played that one. Actually,
I loved that game.
Yeah, I haven't either. I meant to like when it came out, but just never got to it.
Yeah, it's basically a Fire Emblem Three Houses, like not sequel, because story wise it's more like a what if scenario rather than a sequel.
Yeah.
But the way they handled the classes and the characters and all these kinds of things was incredible and super addicting, and I loved it. I played every single path in Three Hopes after playing every single path in Three Houses, and I ate it up. I loved it. And then they had Persona 5 Strikers.
That's my favorite one.
Literally,
yeah,
like it is literally a sequel
to Persona 5.
Persona 5 in every conceivable way. It's just that the battle system is warrior style, but even the battle system
feels not so much
more like Persona than
they
Warriors.
They added elements from Persona to kind of make it more of a hybrid rather than just a warrior style, which is what we've been talking about with the spinoffs. Like they were able in that game, it's a perfect example of like taking what was so great about Persona and just putting it in that format and having it be this great experience. So
so I think that like the reason I call out the Warrior series is because in terms of what makes a good spinoff, I think personally for me, it's how much of the identity of the original IP you maintain. And the Warriors games are interesting because there are some where the identity is less, and I personally thought they were not as good. And then there's some that nail it, like Persona 5 Strikers, where it's just like, I don't care if you don't like Warriors games. If you like Persona 5, you will love Persona 5 Strikers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like hands down, no question.
And I don't really like
Um,
Warriors games, and I do love Strikers. Yeah.
yeah.
Except Slam wants
So-
Xenoblade Warriors, though. Don't
I
let him.
Don't.
Don't let him.
Okay, but here's the thing.
tell
They
you.
might figure out
Because-
a way to make me like it.
I was going to say,
They might.
because of Persona 5 Strikers and because of Fire Emblem 3 Hopes, like if they actually announce Xenoblade, because of how much they've grown and the progress we've seen them make, I'm like, I would
I mean, I'll play
genuinely be
Oh, I'd be all
super
in.
excited for it.
Yeah, same.
Because I don't think we'd be going back to the Hyrule Warriors
No.
age of things. I think we would be getting something that's like a Xenoblade story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're
as a
figuring
spinoff.
it out.
Yeah,
figuring it out.
I think they've definitely like improved on that formula over time. And so now when they announce a game like that, I have more attention on it,
Yeah.
especially if it's with a franchise
100%.
that I love, because I'm like, oh, they're going to find a way to make this work.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah. So I really think it's the identity piece that's there.
Mhm.
There are a number of other spin-off games that are entirely different genres that I absolutely adore for the same reason. They keep the identity. Like one great example as well is I've mentioned, obviously, we've had conversations about Theater Rhythm, right? But they've done Theater Rhythm for Final Fantasy. They've done it for Dragon Quest in Japan. Shout outs to Lurok, by the way. He was like, hey, did you know that this Dragon Quest one is, something you can access? And then they also did Melodies of Memory, which was a Kingdom Hearts Theater Rhythm game, basically, that actually had story that
Yeah.
was canon.
That
And
doesn't surprise me.
those
Of course it
games,
did.
Yeah.
those games are great because like music is such a core
Mhm.
part of these games. And like
Yes.
for me, I grew up not just playing Final Fantasy games, but like I was the kid in high school that wasn't listening to Linkin Park and Black Eyed Peas and these other groups. I was listening to Final Fantasy music. Like I had the Black Mages. Like I would go buy their CDs from the local anime store. I would buy Final Fantasy soundtracks and I loved it. And so when you make a game that is gamifying the music, that's such a core part of the identity of Final Fantasy. Like it's so well done and it's fun. Like it's
Mhm.
fun, it's addicting, but it's just like it's such a good experience for anybody who's a Final Fantasy fan. I'd argue those are great games for anybody who enjoys good game music and likes rhythm games, but
Mhm.
especially if you're not a Fire Emblem fan, although I would love that too, a Final
Oh,
Fantasy
yeah.
fan. Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm games, like those are other incredible examples of taking a piece of the identity and making it work in a different genre.
We need a Xenoblade Rhythm game.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, could you imagine? That's
oh
a
my
dream.
gosh.
They added a.
Yeah, forget Warriors. Forget Warriors.
They
Let's
added
do
a-
that.
Do you
Yeah.
imagine trying to do the Mobius theme?
Oh my gosh. we'd be like like playing Life Sent On and like crying while we're playing the
Uh-huh.
game, trying to do this oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nintendo,
you're hired.
give it to
Max,
us.
you're hired.
They added and Flying Fairy HD for Bravely Default. They added like a little rhythm game
They
into that,
did.
which was
Mhm.
fun. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we?
So what other games do you guys have that are examples?
So I wanted to talk a
great
little bit
spin-offs.
about spin-offs that became their own series, right?
Okay.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, there's been a lot of those.
So obviously Persona, spin-off of SMT, and I'm not
Mhm.
sure that they knew for sure that Persona would end up getting as big as it did, right? And now it's
I'm not even sure a lot of people even realize that it is a
yeah
spinoff.
at this point.
I don't
from
think they do
SMT.
in like now.
Yeah.
Like if you came into the series now, you probably wouldn't have known. But like if you were playing it closer to like maybe Persona 3, that like if you got into the series around that time, then you may have like been more aware.
Yeah.
But now you just hear Persona and like
Yeah.
you
And
immediately
Persona
just
has
think of it.
spin-offs. So you got spin-offs of spin-offs.
Yeah, like Persona
Yeah.
Q and Q2 and things like that.
Strikers,
Dancing all night,
Tactica,
Strikers and
dancing.
Tactica. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many. So it's I would say it's more popular than SMT now.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's just like
It's
completely taken
definitely,
over.
yeah. I think after Persona 5 is really when Persona just hit the mainstream and just went off, right? Persona 3 Reload was really successful. I just think, yeah, I mean, when you have something like that that's so good, and I mean, I wouldn't. Persona 1 is rough, right?
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah,
I'd love to still try it, or at least try 2 is what I'd really like.
2
to
is
play.
actually a good
Me
and
too.
fun game. It's 2 games, but they're great.
Yeah.
I went back, I want to say maybe 4 years ago, and actually played Persona 1 and then the 2 Persona 2 games, and I really enjoyed Persona 2. I hope they remake that.
Me too.
Because they're very different from 3, 4, and 5. And yeah, it would be nice to experience those in a more modern format, or at least like remastered at some level.
Yeah, just where you could play it on a modern console would be really cool.
Yeah, I agree. 1 is really rough, but I'm glad that they stuck with it.
Refined it.
Yeah, and they ended up really switching things up with Persona 3, and that's when that's when they started the formula that we have now that we're working with, and it's so good,
Yeah, it's really interesting because there's like some spinoffs that became a series that are still kind of in a weird place. Like I think of like Final Fantasy Tactics, for example. Final Fantasy Tactics is a very unique experience that maintains, again, sort of that soul of Final Fantasy and provides an incredible game. But then Tactics Advance and A2 are very different. In fact, Tactics Advance and A2 feel more like spin-offs of Final Fantasy 12 than they do of Final Fantasy Tactics. Especially A2. A2 actually has story connections to Final Fantasy 12. Which is really interesting, but there's not like more of those games. Like I'm hoping with the success of Evil's Chronicles, we do see more from that spinoff series. We get more Tactics. But there's also other like really niche spinoff series that like some of it never left Japan. But did you guys ever play Tales of the World Radiant Mythology?
No.
So on PSP, there was a game called Tales of the World Radiant Mythology, and it was a Tales game that brought in characters from the entire franchise. And it's not like a 10 out of 10 games by any means, but I loved that game on the PSP. Like it was one of my favorites on the PSP. And I found out years later that they have like a Tales of the World 2 and 3 that were only in Japan, in addition to a bunch of these other Tales games that came to the PSP and like a remake of Fantasia and stuff like that stayed there, which is kind of a bummer. But that was really interesting because that kind of represents the type of spinoff that is, I'm going to use the term loosely, like fan servicey in the sense that they're like pulling in characters from across the franchise, rather than something like Tactics, where like, yeah, you have Cloud in there that you can recruit, but it is like its own identity as a spinoff. So there are those types of spinoffs as well. But I also really love that one. That was fun. It's not going to make any tier list, but
It might.
I still have fond memories of it. Oh, really?
You never know.
Slam's like looking it up and updating a list as we speak.
It. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's interesting though. Let's see, what do we have? We have Persona. Monster Hunter Stories is now its own thing.
Yeah, it's got 3 games.
Yeah, we have Rune Factory, which was a spinoff of like Story of Seasons, essentially. Like it started out as a spinoff, but it's definitely become its own thing.
It's got a ton of games. I didn't even really.
It's even to the point now where like you have like your mainline Rune Factory games, and then you even have like your like spinoffs, technically, like Guardians of Azuma and Frontier. So like you have a lot of deviations from that, but it started out as kind of a spinoff that focused more on like adding combat and like monster taming versus like just having kind of like the simple like farming sim
right
loop. But I don't know. I honestly like Rune Factory a little bit more because I feel like it is more of like a JRPG compared to Story of Seasons because it has those elements. And so I think like
Yeah.
it's successful in that way because it's added some like key mechanics that would draw in different types of players versus like the
Yeah.
farming sim audience. So there's kind of like both.
Yeah.
So things to love there.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got?
Yeah, what other IPs were spinoffs that continued? There's ones that like kind of continued until they didn't. Like Persona Q had a sequel and they were great, but the problem with Persona Q is Persona Q2 added Persona 5 characters, and Persona Q3 would add Persona 6 characters if Persona 6 existed.
It exists. It has to exist, right? It has to be
Someday.
But we're not here to talk about Persona 6 as much as we might want to.
I know. One day we will. One day we'll be talking about it, and it'll happen.
Isn't Trails a spinoff?
So I was actually like thinking about that more, and it's kind of tough because Trails is like it's part of the overall Legend of Heroes series.
Yeah,
and that the Legend of Heroes was technically like sort of a spinoff of the Dragon Slayer series from Falcom.
Okay.
So like it's
just
kind of
evolved.
intertwined.
It's like an evolution, maybe.
It is.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. Like I know we talked about this before the episode, but I don't know if I would consider Trails a spinoff more so than it's just a sub series of a larger series, but it's kind of taken over that larger series.
Yeah.
Right? Because like we used to have like the Legend of Heroes games kind of like had interconnectedness, but once we had Trails in the Sky, it's just been Trails.
Yeah, it's just
since
taken
2004 and we've not really seen another like Legend of Heroes game. And I don't know if we will until the Trails series ends just because of like how popular it is and how much people want to see how it all like ties together in the end. So I don't know if it's necessarily a spinoff, but I do think it shows that like sometimes when like you have all these different series and franchises, like when something works, it can break off and become its own thing. And like that's what we've seen in spinoffs too. Like once you find like that formula, like if it's successful enough, it's just going to keep going.
Yep.
Like I think developers will like revisit it over and over again. So I think it kind of is similar in that way.
The original Legends of Heroes games were there was 3 of them. They were like their own trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
it wasn't so like Trails wasn't a spinoff per se. It was a new trilogy that just really worked, and then
they
kept
it going. It was kind of like a new, like a sub series within Legends of Heroes, essentially.
Because
like
technically, when I say that I have only beat Sky First Chapter, that's technically not true because I played the original trilogy and I loved those games.
Oh, the Legend of Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they're just very different.
They are. It's
people,
like with Trails,
like
they went a totally
enough,
different direction
yeah.
there. And I think they wanted to try something new and then they found a formula and it's worked so far. But I guess, I don't know, like for this list and like specific things we're talking about, I don't know if we should include Trails just because it's more of a sub-series versus a spinoff the more that I think about it.
Well, I will default to your opinion on that because you know more about the history of that series than I do. So I would agree. It sounds, based on all the information I've gathered here, that it is more of an evolution of the Legend of Heroes than a spinoff. So,
but isn't it cool that like game development can go in so many directions like this? Like just devs like trying something new. Like it could create a whole new series. It could create just like the possibilities are just endless. And I just think that's so fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
there's theater rhythm.
There's theater rhythm. And we all know how much I love rhythm games.
Have you played theater rhythm yet, Slam? Because you have it.
I have it. Yes.
I have it too.
Mm-hmm. I have.
Have either of you played it?
No.
I'm sorry, Brandon. There's so many games to play.
Okay, but theater rhythm is not a game you have to like get sucked into. You could like start it and then just like play a few songs every now and again and just like enjoy it, and then you're good.
I'll take it with me to PAX. I'll play it on the plane.
There you go.
Dude, you will lock in on the plane. If you're playing it on the plane and that's what you have, you're going to love it.
Yep.
The flight will fly by.
That's my.
And then when we have our
See what I did
PAX
there?
episode, I fully expect that you're going to be like, Brandon was right.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Yep.
I'm
So are
love
there
that series.
any others that we wanted to talk about?
No, I think we could actually probably move to what we want to do now, which is create a top 10 list of spin-off JRPGs for you. So
Word.
I'm gonna
Let's do it.
hey, I'm gonna share my screen.
Oh,
I'll
geez.
let you
Are
know
we
if
on
I
a
can see
Teams
it.
call? Oh, my gosh.
If you saw the pre-show, you would know what we're talking about.
Can you guys see my screen?
Oh, Dragon Quest Builders.
I can
Forgot
see.
about that.
I can see
Yes.
the screen. I can see it.
Oh,
Dragon
thanks,
Quest
Max.
Monsters.
Appreciate
That's totally a series. Oh man,
Uh-huh.
forgot about that too.
There's a lot.
Yes.
I mean,
We
there's-
didn't talk
there's so
about
many-
every one of them. because
Yeah,
there's just
but we
so
can talk
many.
about them.
But we can go through here and we can talk about them now. There's more than 10 here. So some of these are not
Mhm.
going to make the cut, but we're going
Mhm.
to work together because last week was so amazing and we agreed on every single game that ended up in that tier list, as you know, if you watched last week's episode. If you haven't, definitely go watch it and let us know in the comments how
Brace
much you
yourself.
agree with everything.
Yep.
Just like we did.
Yeah, we were in total like agreement.
So
Mhm.
we'll go down
Like
the
always.
list here of the games. All right, we'll go down the
We're
list.
always on the same page. We're always on the same page, right?
Slam can't get through this.
Yeah,
He's
I'm
like, "Shut up!
I'm
shut
trying.
up!"
I'm trying. I'm not trying not to lose my train of thought. All
He's
right,
so organized. Don't worry, he's doing his best.
I'm doing
We
my
appreciate
best.
You.
that's all I do over here.
I'm just gonna start making stuff up. We're gonna go through this list and then we're gonna add new pictures
No.
for games that we haven't talked about yet, and we're gonna spend the next 72 hours ranking every single JRPG
I'm
that
not
has
doing
ever
that.
existed.
I'm not doing
I'm not staying up for 72 hours.
that.
Absolutely not.
So Xenoblade Chronicles X, does it make the list?
Oh, we didn't talk about this
no,
one,
we did not.
we?
This is a
Oh no!
spin-off
How
from
did
the
we
main
not
series.
talk about that one?
I don't know.
Mags
I
hates
blocked it out.
She gives it a 0 out of 10, probably.
No, I reviewed it and I gave it a 7.5
Okay.
out of 10.
I mean, a Xenoblade.
Not
I
a
think-
zero.
7.5.
I think it-
That's
It's low for a
It
Xenoblade.
makes the list. I just don't know where yet.
I think we'll start it at 10 because this
and
is
it could get bumped out
it
or
could
bumped
get
up.
it could go
depending
down
on-
or up. But I
Yeah.
do agree with you, Brandon. I do think it makes the list. I love Xenoblade Chronicles X. I played the epilogue. I was not as down on it as Mags was.
It's hard to be honest.
I didn't think it was the greatest thing since sliced bread, but I didn't
Sliced
hate
bread
it.
is so much better.
Sliced bread is,
Leagues better.
I mean, sliced bread is pretty good. I mean, we all love sandwiches. Let's put this at 10.
We're never gonna get this ranking.
That's got to be clipped
sliced
somewhere.
bread is number one.
Sliced bread is pretty good. We all
is
love
on
sandwiches.
Number one on this list is sliced bread. That's a spinoff of regular bread.
Where's Resident Evil 9?
Get out.
Oh my gosh! How could you miss that, Slam?
It's not even a
it's gotta
spinoff
start
of the
going.
series.
That's fair. Okay, next
Okay.
up, Persona. I think Persona has to be.
It's gotta be near the top.
I think that is the top.
Yeah, Persona's got to be one.
I mean, I don't think there's a better example of like a spinoff that's eclipsed the series that it spun off from.
And then
Right.
actually got spin-offs of the spin-off. You know,
Yeah.
so
I bet it's going to be number
And-
one.
and
Which
Let's
we
just
have
put it there.
represented.
yeah, and those spin-offs are also awesome. So
Yeah.
it's hard not to Persona 1.
Yeah.
We've got Strikers, and I think
Hmm.
that is a really good one. We spoke a
It's
lot.
a really good
Striker-
spinoff.
Yeah,
one.
Strikers is really strong.
I think
I
it's
just
the
don't know where.
strongest Persona spinoff.
I do too.
So maybe let's just put it like at 4 and
I think it's a good
we'll
spot
just
for
move
it
it
for
up
now.
and down.
We'll
if
find it. Well,
I think it's on this list, but I don't know where either. But let's just put it somewhere and then we can adjust as we go down.
do we
the list.
think Fire Emblem Three Hopes makes the list? Neither
So,
me and Mags. Have
I'm
played
the only
it.
one who's played it.
Yeah.
And so, in my professional opinion,
I love the
I
way he's
think
talking about
it
it right
is.
now.
He's setting it up.
In my
I think
professional opinion.
it's just as strong. It's just as strong as Strikers in terms of holding the identity of Fire Emblem.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the story is as strong as Strikers.
Yeah,
So
Strikers
I
was
think
very
it's on the
strong.
list, but I think it's under Strikers.
Okay.
Do you think it's like where are we sitting with Xenoblade? Do you think it's better than Xenoblade X? Do we need to move Xenoblade X down now?
Oh, that's a good point. Because it's
time?
going to need to. Is it better or worse than Xenoblade X? Is the
This is
question.
where we get into it. And we default to your professional opinion, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for me. So Xenoblade X is just hard because
I love that game. I actually think it's
as
very
a
good.
game, as a game, it is very, very, very strong. So I would say. So let me put it this way. I would say it's not as good as Xenoblade X, but I can't see it being much further down than Persona 5 Strikers.
Interesting. So should we move Xenoblade X to 5?
Let's just put it there, and then let's put Three
for
Hopes
now.
That's
below it, and we can move them as we go.
Yeah,
I think it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Dragon Quest Builders 2. I have played this game for probably 150 hours.
That's a long time.
It took over my life for a period of time.
It's a lifestyle.
It is a lifestyle. I totally was absorbed by Dragon Quest Builders 2 in a way I completely didn't expect. It was actually the first like builder game I got into. I didn't expect it to grab me like that, but man, it did. I think it's immaculate. It's so good. I would say it's not as good as Strikers.
Would you say it's better than Xenoblade?
Starting to feel like Strikers needs to be moved down a little bit because it seems like it's starting to be that line where we kind of, is it as good as Strikers? So we're going to move it down a slot. I personally like Xenoblade X better than Builders 2 because, like Brandon said, as a game, Xenoblade X is just better. It's like the whole package, right? I spent 80 hours with that game or so last year, and I really love the open world of that game. The story is not the greatest thing since sliced bread. You know,
it's not.
There's those sandwiches again.
I love sandwiches. Peanut butter jelly sandwiches, ham and cheese sandwiches,
meatball
grilled
sandwiches,
cheese sandwiches,
sandwich tier list win.
chicken parm sandwich,
Cuban sandwiches, grilled cheese
sandwiches. All right. But I think I would personally, I move Strikers to 3. I move Three Hopes to 7. And I put Builders between Xenoblade and Three Hopes. How are we feeling?
Fair.
Is that fair?
With that. I'm good with that.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. Now we've got this Chocobo game. Does it make the list?
So Chocobo Mystery Dungeon, I'm going to say compared to all of the other great games we have in here, probably not. But I do want to shout it out anyway. I personally found this to be it's a cute game. It's charming. You have procedurally generated dungeons where you're going in with chocobos and you're finding all of these monsters. You're finding a bunch of treasures. And it's a really fun game to play. And I think you can get it on Switch.
Oh, fun.
I think he's right about that.
And there was a whole Chocobo Dungeon series. There was I don't know if you guys realize this, but there was like Chocobo Dungeon, there was like Chocobo Racing, there was all kinds of Chocobo stuff way back in the day.
That's awesome.
So I think it's a great game. I don't think it is going to fit in the top 10 with all of these other bangers that we have down here. So
that's cool.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this one, Final Fantasy Tactics, the Evil East Chronicles.
Yeah, baby. That's gonna be top tier for me.
I think that's 2.
I was like, I think the question is just like, is it better than Strikers?
Yeah,
and
it is 100%.
Then it goes in 2.
Yeah.
So there you go. Easy peasy.
Glad we're all in agreement on that one. We've all played this one. So
Yep.
We've got World of Final Fantasy. Does that make the list?
Oh, it hurts me to say probably not. But again, we have so many strong games here being represented. Like, I think World of Final Fantasy is a very unique spinoff. We only have one of them. But that means that it wasn't as successful and popular because they didn't continue that franchise.
I liked it too.
That spinoff.
But I agree with you, Brandon. I'd say
I think it's better than Chocobo.
Yeah, I do too. I have never played Chocobo, but I'm sure it is better.
Chocobo's catching some strays.
I mean, I don't know
Chocobo.
I don't know anything about it. It's probably great. Let us know in the comments below how wrong I am.
Yeah.
I'm sure you will. Monster Hunter Stories. And I have 3 as the representation of the series because 3 is just so good. And I think this is the best example of, I think I am the only one that's played it. Mags, you played the demo.
I played a little bit of it. I'm actually going to start it officially tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm so ready. But I played a little bit of it here and there just to check it out.
I think this is the best example of progression through a series. I think the jump from 1 to 2 was huge, significant. The jump from 2 to 3, huge, significant. They are learning and building a series that is going to go on for a really long time. I could see Monster Hunter Stories 4, 5, 6, 7. I could see this series going on for a long, long time. I personally think it is better than Strikers.
Okay. Yeah. I think so. My take here is you're going to need to. This is going to need to carry from 3 alone because personally, as much as I loved 1 and 2, I don't see them being above Xenoblade.
That's
but if 3 is really that good, then I
haven't finished it.
I just can't speak to it.
That is something we should say too, because I mean, I've played over half of it. I would say I've gotten to they take you into different areas, and I've progressed through the first couple. So that is a very good point, Brandon. And I haven't finished the game, so I don't think I could. Also, maybe I can't put it above Strikers because the representation of 1 and 2. 1 and 2 can't touch Strikers, but 3 is really good.
Yeah, and I think there is something to be said though that it's become a series at this point, which does point to its success. Whereas X and Strikers are both one-offs of a mainline series. Not to disparage them at all because they're both very, very great games. I just wonder if the fact that it's become a separate series that has gotten more and more impressive as it goes, I do think that should be considered as far as how we rank the spinoffs too. But
Mags swaying me back.
I guess what I'm thinking is if we want to put it below Xenoblade, I'm fine with it, but I do think it's impressive that they have gotten better each time. Yeah, and I think that could be weighed as well.
I was thinking we could weigh it now based on how much better it's gotten, but it could also just be this is not a static definitive list. If we put it below Xenoblade now, it could be hey, everybody who's listening, this is a strong contender, and if we were to come back and revisit this in a year or 2 years or something, it could be a very different picture.
Yeah. It could be. So if it continues to, if there is a 4 and a 5 and they keep getting better and better, then it might surpass.
So let me ask you this. Are we moving Strikers? Is it going above or below Strikers?
I think it's got to go below. Okay. Just because the quality, I think, of Strikers is
really good.
Better. But I think there's something to be said about Stories kind of becoming its own thing because we've not had the Strikers 2, 3, 4. Right.
Pop it into 4.
I'm happy with that.
All right. We've got 3 more games that we can add to the list. I don't think Dragon Quest Monsters is going to make it. I played this game for a little bit and I didn't get into it. I didn't think it was very good. And
Dragon Quest Monsters is a storied spin-off series, though. It's been going on for a long time.
And I don't want to say, look, it went away for a long time, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah. And then it came back with this one.
Well,
and it was received.
We had was it Dragon Quest Monsters Joker? I think it was the DS or the 3DS. So like it was going through from the DS to the Switch. So it wasn't like a huge gap, if I remember correctly. We haven't heard much of it since, but we also got it just a couple of years ago. So it's not like it was on, whatever, the PS1 and we didn't see it again till the Switch. Like they had the series running.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it was received pretty well. What was the Metacritic score on that? Do you know? Did you play it, Brandon?
I will look. I did. I loved it.
You loved it?
Mm-hmm.
I probably didn't give it enough time, but like I definitely can't speak as much to it because I played maybe, I don't know.
They got a 72. User score is 8.0.
Okay. Yeah, I probably put like less than 10 hours into the game. So I can't really say it's good or bad for real because I didn't really put enough time into it, but it didn't gel with me and I fell off with it.
I would say you can, at least for now, put it on the list at the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't think I love the game, but I don't think that the series outshines anything else that we have here so far. But I do think it is a good series. It's at least worth considering on the board for now.
Okay.
Cool.
That's
fair.
Guardians of Azuma. This is my favorite Room Factory game, even though I had some major issues with the last, 6 or 7 hours of the game.
Mm-hmm.
The first, what was it, 30 some hours?
30 hours were perfect. They were so
good. Like an amazing Rune Factory experience. It was everything I would have wanted out of that. I spent so much time playing it on the Switch 2 at launch. It was basically my Switch 2 launch game that I played the most. I really, really
especially because it was not a key card and they gave us a booklet.
Yep.
Yeah,
they did.
nice.
It was sick.
It was sick.
Yeah. I don't know if
are we using
this is
Guardians of Azuma
as a representation of Rune Factory, right?
Right, like as a whole, like Rune Factory as a spin-off series.
Yeah.
I think
it's good. I think it deserves to be a spot on here.
I was gonna say here's my so I didn't play the older ones. I jumped in at, was it 5 before Guardians?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
5, yeah.
5 was such a mixed bag. Like I personally was addicted to that game because you could break that sucker wide open almost immediately by finding a way to get like tools that aren't even technically weapons, but they had stupidly high attack power. I think they were hammers or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could just bulldoze through that game. And I loved it, but it was also super janky and really not great quality. And it ran terribly on the Switch. So Guardians definitely like lifted that up for me. But my experience with the franchise is the 2, where one of them was like addicting, but like objectively not a good, like well-made game. And then Guardians was less addicting for me anyway, but still fantastic. Like I loved playing Guardians. So personally for me, it might be on the list, but it's not very high for me. But I'm willing to. I've only played the 2, so I'm willing to let that one ride.
I would put it. We'll just put it here.
Yeah.
I
do think that like 5 is the weakest one that I've played. I've also played 4 special, and like it's better.
Yeah, we'll use 10 as like a slot.
I think that I think and hope that it's like on the list, but if it's near the bottom, that's fine. I do think that Azuma, like Guardians of Azuma, is a good like point to think like they're going to just keep getting better than that. I hope.
Yeah.
And if I
just feel like
then that's promising.
Yeah. I feel like for me, like again, with my limited experience, Story of Seasons always feels polished, whereas Rune Factory doesn't always feel polished. At least in terms of like the mechanics that they implement, right? So even in Guardians, which is a much better and more polished game, like the battle system is like really vanilla for like an action RPG, and I don't need it to be some like crazy complicated thing, but I don't get that same sense for any of the mechanics in Story of Seasons. Like when a Story of Seasons game comes out, it's like, yeah, this is Story of Seasons. This is good. Like they know what they're doing. Rune Factory always feels like it's kind of on that edge. So yeah,
I have a very limited experience with Story of Seasons. I have not played much of that series, so I played a lot of Rune Factory. Played 3, 4, 5, and Guardians of Azuma. So
I think this is fair.
Yeah.
And I think we'll just see as we have the last couple of games.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the 10 spot for maybes for now.
That's
I'm
good.
gonna stack them there.
That's a good call.
And then at the end we'll be like, Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Now everybody knows that I'm gonna really push for this one to get on here. It's a double crossover of 2 great series, and it's a lot of fun, and I love it. It's got a special place in my heart. I love the story. I love the characters. I love the soundtrack. I think the gameplay mechanics are really unique and different, and I think it does a lot of the things that we praised spinoffs for throughout this episode. So I would push for it to be on here. Definitely over Dragon Quest Monsters, but I understand that Tokyo Mirage Sessions is a standalone. Rune Factory is a long-running series. So yeah, I don't know how you guys are feeling.
I've not played enough of it. Like I played a little bit, and it's been a long time. So I do think it fits the spin-off definition well, though. Like for what we were talking about, like it takes like some really good aspects of the games that it's combining together to create like a really cool formula.
Yeah.
So that serves it really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon.
Yeah, but
I heard that.
No. I think it is probably at 9 at most for me personally. Like, I think it is a really cool concept. I think it's a very fun game. It doesn't touch anything else in 7 or above for me right now. But I could see it being above Dragon Quest Monsters or Guardians. So if it is on the list, I'd say it will probably end up towards the bottom for me personally. But I do think that it's fair that there's some representation here. Again, the problem for me is like we still have some very strong contenders here that we have not talked about.
We're about to get to them.
those.
We got Pokopia. I might need to move some things around.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. What do you think it's better than?
Okay, wait, hold on. Let's just clarify here. Are we ranking based on the quality of the game itself or how well it does as a spin-off? Because the reason I'm asking,
I think those are
is because if we put Pokopia above Final Fantasy Tactics, for example, if we are just doing spin-off, I'm not saying we should.
Dude.
If we are just saying spin-offs, then we're not necessarily saying it is a better game fundamentally. We're saying it functions better as a spin-off. And I'm not suggesting putting it in that spot. I'm just giving an extreme example.
I just think we've done both as we've talked through all this. And maybe that's not helpful.
We have to balance both of these things. This is not like last week where we didn't have the criteria right. All right.
And we didn't have it figured out before we started the episode, and people complained about that. And
these two things kind of crossover, right? And they should, right? A good spinoff should make a good game. Okay. Yep. And I think that overall we can it needs to do both. If it's going to sit in the top 5, it needs to be both. It needs to be both a great spinoff and it needs to be a great game. And Pokopia is definitely that.
Yeah.
But does it like, so I guess it's like, is it a better combination of those things than Tactics? That's the question.
Tactics is staying at 2. We're not moving it.
Okay, good. Because I was like,
Thank you. Lock that in.
Like, guys, come on. I mean,
But,
I love
yeah.
Pokopia, but relax. All right.
Okay.
Brandon,
All right.
don't worry. I'm not going to do you dirty like
Okay.
that. You know, why
Okay.
would you even question? You know how much
Look,
I love
I was just
Tactics.
preparing for the worst. You know, we had some disagreements in the last episode, and so I just needed to, like, you know, get a lay of the land here.
No,
You know,
what people don't understand, Brandon, is even if we disagree, we're always agreeing on most things, and we can definitely
That's true.
agree on Final Fantasy Tactics
That's true,
being
yeah.
Max. Come on. Okay. Do I think it's better than Strikers? Yeah, I do.
whoa. Okay,
I
that surprises me.
love Persona. Persona 5 is my favorite game. I think, I mean, just having more fun with Pokopia, and I think it represents the series better. I just think it represents the series better. Technically, Persona 5 Strikers, I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, we should probably look this up. I don't think it's canon. 1. 2,
I think it is.
It's an epilogue for vanilla Persona
for
5.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you think about it that way, it's like an alternate ending to that versus the royal ending.
Versus the royal ending.
So
Also,
you can kind of see it as 2 separate
as you
timelines.
know, I'm just not the hugest fan of the Muso games. I'm not. The warrior style games is just like kind of, yes, I play through them because like I like the series that they're spun off from. And then I typically enjoy them more than I expect. But Pokopia is more fun to play. It's just more fun to play than Strikers, in my opinion. And I do think that it represents the game it's spun off from a little bit better. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Strikers is like a 9 out of 10 game. It's probably one of my favorite spinoffs ever. And I adore it. I've even thought about going back and replaying it because I liked it so much. When I'm saying that Pokopia is above Strikers, it's because I also really love Pokopia. And I think it does some really amazing things for Pokemon. A game and a series that's been getting a lot of flack lately is probably going to has probably seen a little bit of a resurgence from a spinoff. And I think that Pokopia did for Pokemon what very few games on this list have done for the series that they're spun off from.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's because Pokemon also has a stronger IP recognition than any of it. Like, because you could argue Pokemon Go did more for the series than anything on this list, but that doesn't mean Pokemon Go is a better spinoff per se.
It's not even really a game, but
right. Well, that's my point, right?
Yeah.
But it was a moment, right?
it
Like
was a
had
moment. It was.
We were all there.
So I think Pokopia is a very strong contender. I personally, and I'm willing to let this be a personal take and not necessarily representative. I personally don't think it's better than Persona 5 Strikers in terms of how much fun I had, because as much as I'm enjoying Pokopia, there are moments in Pokopia, if I don't have direction, where I can get bored and I have to chase down the next thing to do. I'm not saying it's boring. I'm not saying I'm bored overall, but I'm saying, like, for me personally, the builder genre doesn't have as much of an impact for me as Persona 5 Strikers did, because Persona 5 Strikers, again, the reason of the Muso games, I don't even consider it in the same categories, because it was just
It is
a
the
Persona
best
game.
of the best of the Muso games.
Like,
It's
you can
not-
hardly tell it's a Muso game. It's so Persona coded.
And the boss fights
and
in Strikers were so fun.
Yeah, and I was like totally addicted to that game and played it all the way through and got like all the biggest, craziest personas you can think of, and like I was obsessed with that game. Whereas I love Pokopia, but I don't have the same level of obsession. So personally, I would put it under Strikers.
And I'm okay with that. I'm not going to fight you on it because I really love Strikers, like I said. So, you know, if you were in agreement with me, we'd put it above. But I'm with you. I'll put it behind Strikers.
Okay. Mags, how do you feel about that?
I'm good with that because I've not played Pokopia and I love Strikers, and I think that's a good compromise.
Cool.
Okay.
So
Theater
Good job,
rhythm, baby. Good job, guys.
Theater rhythm for me knocks something off the list. Like I'd put it under, at the very least, I'd put it under Three Hopes. I might even personally put it above Three Hopes. Like I don't think you understand.
I think you need to choose one.
Into it.
I
think it's better than Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Dragon Quest Builders, or Guardians. Like, I don't think you understand how good these games are.
I don't.
I'm not just saying it for the meme.
I don't either.
Like,
I don't know.
These are the strongest, like, rhythm games that are not like Guitar Hero and DDR. Like you can get locked in and lose like 50 to 100 hours in theater rhythm if you are a music person and you enjoy the gameplay. Yeah, I'm serious. Like these are incredible games. Like let me just make the case real quick. Ready? If you don't believe me,
I'm doing some digging. Okay, he's not wrong.
Theater rhythm final bar line sits at an 87 on Metacritic.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I am saying this, but like genuinely, these are incredible games. And if you are a JRPG fan and you're a Final Fantasy fan in particular, like they are so strong.
I can put Theater Rhythm on the list. I am okay with that. One, because Final Fantasy music is great.
That's true.
And two, this is widely loved. I know it is. I haven't played it, so I can't sit here and say it doesn't go on this list. For sure, I can't. But the fact that it's close to a 90 and Brandon is very adamant about having it on here, I trust Brandon because he's a good guy. And I'm gonna put it on the list. I appreciate
you, Slam.
But
you could just put that in the number one. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we're not doing that.
I'm
Let's not get hasty.
I don't know if we should knock Three Hopes back to that discussion tier. That
you really want Tokyo Mirage Sessions on this.
Of course he does.
Come on, guys. It's so much better than Three Hopes. I know it is. Come on.
It's not. But
we'll move Three Hopes to the discussion tier.
He has the power. You can't stop him.
We will put Theater Rhythm.
He has the
Theater
power
Rhythm up there, and you know what? We'll put Tokyo Mirage Sessions in this discussion tier too. All right.
Okay.
Because this next one, Pokemon Legends, I do believe Legends belongs on the list. I think arguably I've enjoyed the Legends games more than the mainline games recently. I know that some people really like. There were plenty of people in my comment section when I put Legends ZA and my favorite games of the year last year that were very upset about that didn't like ZA. But I loved ZA.
Yeah,
and
such a good game.
Arceus was amazing.
So here's my argument for the Legends games. There are very few spin-offs that massively impact the core series in how they deliver it.
Mm-hmm.
And Legends Arceus changed the way that they went about making games. Like games, Scarlet and Violet
took a lot from Arceus.
There are plenty of things to critique about the delivery of Scarlet and Violet. Many of the mechanics were basically taken and slightly adjusted from Arceus. Like they were sharing some of that same DNA. And I get the sense that Winds and Waves are going to go even more in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
So Legends is a very interesting spinoff because you could argue it's just a separate spinoff, but it is like the successes of the Legends games are coming back into the core series. So that makes it a very strong contender from a spin-off strength standpoint. And they happen to be very good games. Like, listen, even if you don't like Legends ZA as much as you did Legends Arceus, they're still very, very good games.
Yep, I agree. What do you think, Mags? You agree?
I do. I think it should be higher than 9.
Well, I do too. We're just putting it on the list for now, and that was the only spot I had right there. So now that we have it on the list, what needs to move around? I've been giving some thought to this, and maybe we shouldn't have 2 Builder spinoffs on the top 10. So we should choose between Builders 2 or Pokopia. What do you guys think?
I think that's fair.
Right? Because we only got 10 games to work with. There's some good games here. So should I move? Which one do you guys think should move off? I've played both of them extensively, and I could say I think that Pokopia does more creative things with the IP than Dragon Quest Builders 2 does. Dragon Quest Builders 2 has combat. Pokopia does not. I think Pokopia is probably a better spin-off game. And I think maybe Dragon Quest Builders 2 might just be a better game. It's hard to choose between the two, but I think if I had to choose one today, right now, I'd probably choose Pokopia.
I'm not played either one, so y'all can hash this out.
Yeah, it's hard to weigh. It's hard to weigh in on this one because I feel like the cultural zeitgeist right now is like, hey, of course it's Pokopia because it's Pokopia, and people are buying Switch 2s because of Pokopia. Like, what are you even talking about? But Dragon Quest Builders is one of those like underrated gems.
It is.
And almost everybody who's played it has been like, hey, don't have a Switch 2, go play Dragon Quest Builders 2, and you're going to like it as much, if not more, than Pokopia. So I don't know. It's hard to... I hear your argument for only having one builder representation.
But you want them both on here?
Well, like Dragon Quest Builders 2, I almost feel like it would be wrong to take that off the list because it is a really strong contender and it's for a different IP. It's not Pokemon.
That's fair.
Whereas right now we're discussing a second Pokemon game.
That's fair.
I think it's fine to keep both. Like if it's stronger than some of these other ones, then let's just keep it.
Okay.
But like for the record though, neither of the Legends games rated as highly as Theater Rhythm. So
okay, we got to move some things around.
But that's not our only criteria for ranking these.
Before we get to the discussion tier, we have one more game here. Is Persona Dancing going to make the list? I like these games a lot, but I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No. They're great. They're fantastic. Yeah. If you've never played the Persona Dancing games, they're super fun. They do add story, but like none of the story is canon. And they're not like the stories are enough to get you through the game. But they're not like groundbreaking.
Yeah.
So I love those games. Definitely check them out if you haven't. I don't think they need to be on the list.
Okay. So now we go through, we're going to move some stuff around. Is Persona still at number 1?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy Tactics still number 2?
Yep.
Persona Strikers still number 3?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
We got 2 Persona games in the top 3. I like that. Now we're getting into complicated territory, right? A little less definitive. We got Pokopia at number 4. Is it too low or too high?
I don't think it should be that high.
Is it better than Monster Hunter Stories 3?
That's your call, Slam. What do you think? What does your heart tell you, Slam?
Played both.
I think Monster Hunter Stories 3 is better.
Okay.
I do. Is it better than Xenoblade Chronicles X? That's another tough one.
Now, keep in mind, everybody listening, like, these are the conversations of JRPG lovers. So we recognize that Pokopia is a worldwide phenomenon right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not how we are personally ranking these games.
Right.
Um,
Now go ahead and do what you want to do, Slam.
He already knows. Xenoblade goes in front.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Pokopia Builders. If we're having both on the list, I would put Pokopia higher. Theater Rhythm, which I'm okay with being on the list. And ZA, or just Legends, the Pokemon Legends games spinoffs, also okay with being on the list. Is now we have to go back through. Okay, we moved some stuff around. Let's see if the order is correct. We've got Stories 3, Xenoblade, Pokopia. Now, Dragon Quest Builders 2 or Theater Rhythm, which is higher?
So would it be... I'm just going to throw this out there.
I know you're going to want to...
Don't burn me down in the comments. Would it make sense to have Legends above Pokopia?
I think it needs to be.
The reason I ask is because, again, Legends are not only fantastic games, but they are directly impacting the core series. So in terms of a spinoff to core series like connection, it's hard to make that comparison with Pokopia, because Pokopia is amazing, but it's also very much its own thing and will stay its own thing.
I think it does. I think it needs to be up there, but
I mean, I would have a hard... I don't know, man.
It's okay. We don't have to.
No.
I'm not necessarily suggesting it. I'm just asking the question because it's unique. Legends is unique.
We have to vote. I mean, Pokopia is unique. Okay.
I mean, unique in the sense that, like, it's having an impact that most of these other spinoffs don't have.
And that it's impacting
with the
main
exception
series.
of Tactics. Actually, with the exception of Persona and Tactics.
Yeah. Persona for sure has affected everything.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed Pokopia more as a game, but I think I'm okay.
Would you put it above Builders 2?
Pokopia?
No.
Legends. Yeah. I think I would. But if it's... Where are you at, Brandon? Is it a 2v1 vote? If so, I will move it.
I could see it being above Builders 2.
No, I'm talking about Pokopia.
Oh, putting it above Pokopia? I'm not committed enough to answering that question to put it above Pokopia. I do think it at the very least needs to be closer. So I would put it above Builders for sure. Pokopia, I could see an argument being made, but I wouldn't die on that hill, personally.
Legends has more games. And it will probably be a more ongoing thing than Pokopia as a spin-off series of games. So I'll put it above Pokopia for that reason.
Okay.
Because it'll ultimately probably be a more successful spin-off as a spin-off series. But then we have Pokopia and Builders. I'm still good with Pokopia being above Builders. It's crazy that we moved Pokopia from 4 to 7. But here we are. Mags, you really should play it. You should give it a go.
I know.
You should give it a go. You might think a little differently.
I'm sure I'd love it.
But I know you probably... Do you want Theater Rhythm higher, Brandon? Where are we sitting?
Personally, I would put it above Builders, yes.
Okay.
I am not going to be dragged out of here kicking and screaming if you guys decided not to, but I do think it's a stronger spinoff.
That's fine.
I'm okay with that too. So we got Persona, Tactics, Strikers, Stories, Xenoblade X at 5, Legends, Pokopia, Theater Rhythm, Builders. Do we feel like Xenoblade is too high?
I do.
I was wondering that actually.
I think ZA
I'm
is
go- see,
definitely, I
we're
think Legends
all-
is above it.
We're all sitting here thinking the same exact thing, and only I
Well,
spoke up.
the problem is like I personally would struggle to put Legends EA above Xenoblade. So
I
like
would not. I would not.
I have a hard
we know,
time
Max.
We know, Max. We know how much you love Xenoblade X.
I think Xenoblade X, for all of its faults, is still such a mind-blowing game in terms of mechanics, in terms of
Mhm.
like the exploration
That open
and the
world
class
is
system and the
sick.
skills, and
Yeah,
the
there's a lot
open
going
world
on
and the
there.
verticality and all of that stuff that makes it so that like I love the Legends games and they have that core Pokemon formula, the catching stuff, and they changed it in terms of how you catch and all those things, and they're wonderful. But like
Xenoblade is a little bit.
Xenoblade to me is just like such a strong series, period. And X is a very strong spinoff from a mechanic standpoint. Like that game is wild in terms of everything it's able to accomplish.
I
Yeah.
don't disagree with that. We can just keep it where it is.
Okay. So now we have the discussion tier. We've got Dragon Quest Monsters. Is that staying on the list?
We can. For me, the two strongest contenders here are Three Hopes and Tokyo Mirage Sessions. For me personally,
Mags, what are your two strongest?
I mean, that's tough. I hate to see Rune Factory go, but it's probably going to be those two as well. So we should just knock off Monsters and Rune Factory.
I would like Rune Factory and Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
okay. Well, at the very least, that means Monsters gone. So go ahead and knock Monsters.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with Mags on that. Mags, are you in agreement?
Yeah, I think Monsters can be knocked off.
I'm talking about the two.
I mean, I've only played Rune Factory out of those three, besides like a few hours of Tokyo Mirage Session, so I really can't speak to that one. But
I am
that's
willing.
tough.
I'm willing to forego Three Hopes for your sake, because I've had a lot of strong influence on this list so far. For anybody listening, if you are a Three Houses fan, Three Hopes hits in a way that Strikers hits in terms of like being such a good game that it feels less like a Muso game and more like a Fire Emblem game. So if you like Three Houses for the story and the lore and the characters and all of that, definitely check it out. And with that, if you guys want to duke it out over 10, that's fine with me.
Rune Factory or Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Mags.
I think either one of them would be great at 10. I know that Rune Factory's kind of been up and down throughout its life cycle as a spin-off series, and I'm glad that it's gotten better. And I think Guardians of Ozma did a lot to like restore its reputation. But I think it's just more so, do we want number 10 to be like represented by like a pretty consistent spin-off series that has its ups and downs, or a strong one-off game that was able to combine two series together pretty well? What's the better representation there?
I do think Tokyo Mirage Sessions does something that nothing else on this list does.
Mm-hmm.
And that it spins off of two very different series and makes it work really well. Brandon, go ahead.
I just had a wild, like, off the wall thought that I probably shouldn't introduce at this venture.
Why? Go ahead,
juncture. Is Kingdom Hearts technically a spinoff?
I shouldn't have introduced at this juncture.
Anyway, it's not on this list, but if it is, we're in trouble, because Kingdom Hearts should have some strong representation if it is. But anyway, back to these two. Shout outs to Kingdom Hearts. The thing that I struggle with this one is Rune Factory, Guardians of Ozma in particular. is not only a strong spin-off and has the series legacy, but it genuinely introduced new novel farming mechanics that we haven't really seen in any other farming game, let alone a Rune Factory game, where they optimized it so effectively so you could like change the view and you can water things super fast and you can like get through those tasks in order to do the rest of what you can do in Rune Factory. And it almost stands as, I mean, someone in the comments can correct me if I'm wrong, but from a pure mechanic standpoint, when it comes to farming, it's like the strongest outing that I've seen or personally played with any farming game ever.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too.
That it's difficult for me because I love Tokyo Mirage Sessions and I want to see it represented, but like Rune Factory, Guardians of Ozma in particular, setting aside the crappy ending cycle, like mechanically in terms of implementation of the concept, is a very, very, very strong game.
I agree. I mean, I don't think it's not a strong game. I just think Tokyo Mirage Sessions is significantly better than any Rune Factory game.
Give us your case.
Okay. So, yeah, like Mags mentioned, Rune Factory's been up and down. They're not all equally great, and some of them are outright not that good, or have like glaring issues, right? Guardians of Ozma is definitely the best game in that series, and I agree with basically every point you made. But we made a heavy argument here for Xenoblade X as sitting where it is on the list because it's just like this great game, top to bottom. It's like a great experience as a spinoff, right? It does so many really great things from just an overall package perspective, right? Great. Well, Xenoblade X story is not necessarily great, but overall, like the open world, the scales, the verticality, like it does like a lot of really cool and interesting things, and that's why it sits at 5. And I think Tokyo Mirage Sessions does a lot of really great, interesting things. I think it has a unique aspect to it, and that it took two very different styles of games, took those, spun them off into one game, actually made a really unique. I mean, there's nothing like the combat system in Tokyo Mirage Sessions. It has a great soundtrack, has really good and well-written characters and story. It kind of has like the gameplay loop that you'd see in Persona and SMT. But then it's got Fire Emblem representation in there. And it's just like this crazy dreamt up scenario of a game that you would never expect to happen in reality, but it actually happened. And I think it's just like a really unique representation of a spinoff. And I think that kind of I would actually put it quite higher than a lot of the games on this list, but I won't fight for that. So that's why I'd have it at least at 10. And I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I'd probably personally swap that and Xenoblade, in my opinion, but I'll fight for.
Oh, I would never do that. But I think here would be my, if I can, because I could go either way for this one. If I were to argue my way into Slam's camp, I would say of the two, given that this is a JRPG channel, it has the strongest representation of unique JRPG mechanics that are a good combination of the IPs that it's pulling from, in a way that Rune Factory does not. Rune Factory does a great job with farming, but even Guardians of Ozma, like the mechanics for the battles and things like that, while fun enough, are not that like novel. They're not that great. And that's just a part of Rune Factory. So if I wanted to go that route, that's probably how I would convince myself, saying, like, this is more of a quintessential JRPG and a fantastic spinoff, whereas Guardians of Ozma is more of a farming sim spinoff with some JRPG elements, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'd say. But honestly, even just having the conversation right now, like I feel like I could make a strong argument for Rune Factory as well. So this one's hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got to decide. I've played. I mean, I don't know. It sounds like you guys haven't played Tokyo Mirage Sessions, so I'm the one pushing for it because I've played and finished.
No,
it.
I've played it.
You've
I
finished.
played just a little bit of it, but not
I didn't
enough.
finish it. I didn't
Yeah.
finish it, but I played a good chunk of it.
Okay. So how are we feeling? Is it staying on the list or is it not? This is the Level Up Legacy top 10 list of JRPG spinoffs. You know, we got to agree. I stand that it definitely should. Not that I hate Rune Factory, but
Yeah, the game's not on the list. Again,
I
Three
love
Hopes
Rune
is not on
Factory.
the list, and I love Three
Yeah.
Hopes. I think it's a fantastic game. So we're not saying that they're bad games. We're just
No.
saying as far as spinoffs go, like what are the best JRPG spinoffs? JRPG spinoff is the way that I would get to Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
cool.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
There it is. The
That's
top
it.
10 list.
All right,
Yay.
we did it.
We did it. Whew.
We did.
That was harder than I expected.
Yeah, I think so.
Ranking
Like some of those
anything
ones
can be
down there
difficult.
are
Yeah.
yeah. All right, let's go through it then. Persona's number 1, Final Fantasy Tactics number 2, Strikers is number 3, Monster Hunter Stories is 4, Xenoblade X is 5, ZA is 6, Pokopia is 7, Theater Rhythm is 8, Builders is 9, and Tokyo Mirage Sessions is 10. How are we feeling?
I like it.
That's good.
Yeah. And
Solid.
you know, every time I see Xenoblade on there, I'm like, yeah, it's a good spot. I mean,
Yeah.
I like Xenoblade X a lot. I mean, I do think this is a really solid
It's-
list of great JRPG spinoffs, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Xenoblade X is just so funny because like its highs are so high
Yeah.
that even though there are lows, it's like hard because some games have like good highs, but then those lows will kind of knock it down. And X is just a weird kind of unique game in that sense.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's it.
all right.
That's it.
That's it. That's our top 10. We still have our members questions, so we're going to go through these and we're going to be we're going to need to be a little bit quick about it, but
Yeah.
we'll get these in here. So thank you guys for sticking around for the discussion and the ranking, and stick around for some of these awesome questions because one of them is actually unintentionally totally related to this. And that's going to be from this week. ARock10 asked, or he said, "Hello guys, hope you're all doing great. Question, I love Monster Hunter Stories, or I love Monster Hunter, and so I've been playing Monster Hunter Stories 3, and I love it a lot. Loved Monster Hunter Wilds too. Just wanted to get your thoughts on how do you feel when you see a genre of game, hunting game genre no less, give out a banger after banger games with completely different play styles, and why don't we see other gaming genres do the same successfully or something similar like mainline Monster Hunter and Stories? Thanks."
Who wants to go first?
Yeah. I'll go. I mean, I love to see it. I think when we talked about spinoffs throughout this episode, we talked about how it's really cool to see game developers try something different with established IPs that are already like beloved, but could like have some more experimentation or go into a different kind of genre with different gameplay just to kind of like grow that experience and also bring new people into the IP. So I love seeing that. But I think as far as like maybe why we don't see it as much like beyond JRPGs, I just don't know if like developers always want to take the risk
Yeah.
with different stuff. And so
Yeah, I feel like-
sometimes like that can be an aversion to that
Yeah, I
sort of
feel like
thing.
Monster Hunter Stories, like in particular, was like a risk that Capcom committed to.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels like when they went into Monster Hunter Stories, like yes, there was some success, but it felt like we want to carve out a path for Monster Hunters having a like turn-based JRPG avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And so they committed to it. Not a lot of companies commit in that way. And I think that's why we see some of these like random spinoffs like Tokyo Mirage Sessions, right? Like the idea of Persona and Fire Emblem is so strong, and they could do some really cool things with that. Like even if they went the other way where they made it more like a Fire Emblem game than a Persona game, but then brought in Persona elements, which it's kind of engaged, but anyway, they could do some really cool stuff there. Right? What if they had a Fire Emblem game that had Fire Emblem characters, but also Persona characters that were on the tactical grid, right? Like there's some really cool stuff that they could do. But ultimately this stuff has to be greenlit, and they have to feel like that there's some path forward, and that's just not always the case.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised that just going through this list of games that we've talked about in this episode, how many, series ended up with spinoffs like that. I love Monster Hunter Stories, and I love that they've committed to it. And I love that each game has gotten so substantially better from the previous one. I'm absolutely obsessed with Monster Hunter Stories 3. And that, like you mentioned, I play Monster Hunter Wilds. I actually do play the core Monster Hunter games, and I get addicted to those too. Play a ton of those. I enjoy stories more because, I mean, if you don't know, I like JRPGs a lot.
What?
I mean,
that's crazy.
It's like one of my favorite.
About them all the time.
One of my favorite
genres.
TIL. One of my favorite genres of games out there, and it is at its core through and through a JRPG, and it's so well executed. And I love that we're seeing other games, other series jump from that maybe are core JRPGs and then jump and like make spinoffs from that, Dragon Quest Builders and Persona 5 Strikers and, games like that. It's just give us more of it, right?
Yeah, I agree. All right. Next one. This one's going to be interesting. This one's from Paul Cassetta. Y'all ready for this? This one's wild. He says, thanks for answering my question last week. Was fun to hear your dream teams, and especially Brandon's logic for taking care of Eve and my villain party. You're welcome. Again, I hope all is well with everyone. So, to set the scene, more or less, for this week's question. You have all been transported into a JRPG for one reason or another. Knowing there will be a few battles to come in this situation, you're given the option to choose the battle system you will emulate from any JRPG that you've played. My question is, what battle system would you prefer to use if you were in the game? Individual choices. And second question, since this is a team effort, you guys must pick one from your individual selections to go with moving forward. Which are you choosing as a group? Please note, experience with this system is important to your individual abilities in battle.
I feel like our community just really likes to see us argue about stuff. But I think for me, I would go turn-based. And if I had to pick, did they say specifically a game, like a battle system from a specific game or series?
Yeah.
It just says from any JRPG that you've played.
Yeah.
Any JRPG that I played, I would choose Metaphor because of the archetype system. And I think that gives us a lot of variation in how we approach different fights and things like that. And it's also got that hybrid combat system. So you've got action and turn-based. So yeah, I think that's where I'd go.
What about you, Max?
Oh, it's going to be Xenoblade 3 for me. Because one, there's so many options.
I love that answer.
You have the hero system. You can, emulate your heroes with different classes. You have so many options.
We could go recruit Paul and make him come with us and fight with us.
That's true. We can recruit all of our friends, and they all have special talents. And
then you get the overpowered, Yeah,
I mean, if I can't say like all of the battle lines like over and over
and over
that's
again.
Reason.
Yeah, let's do that. I think
Yeah.
Xenoblade 2 worse about that? I feel like they were. I think
I just
3 was a little
loved
bit better. But
I
yeah,
love the
it's
ones
fun.
from Xenoblade 3 though.
Yeah,
Like I'm
they're
trying to
fun.
think of some, but I can't because it's late and my brain's fried. But I would definitely, that's definitely a factor. Like I want to have to repeat cheesy battle lines while I'm fighting. That's perfect. And also, I just want to do millions and millions of
Oh.
damage like via chain attacks. It's just
Yeah, and
it's the
we could
full
even figure out
package.
like who's got break, who's got topple, who's got launch, who's got smash. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
See,
you
this
know,
is it.
All right.
yeah, Mags convinced me. I was gonna
Mags
say
wins.
turn based, but like yeah, that's it right there.
Yay.
That's Mags has got it. I'm all in, and we could change classes, and there's so much about that battle system that would be sick.
That would be
Mhm.
sick.
Yeah,
Xenoblade
shout outs to
3,
Mags.
baby.
Yep, that's it.
Perfect.
That was a great question, and that was
It
a great
was.
answer, Mags.
Oh,
you
thanks.
that's all you, girl.
I was thinking about
All right.
it.
The next one is from Ayamaki. Hello, everyone. If you would wake up one day without any memory or recollection on gaming, knock on wood, which game would you like to experience again for the first time and why?
Final Fantasy X. It is the game that kind of like I know this Mags. It's just got a special place in my heart.
No,
Okay.
I wasn't reacting to you.
Okay, I
It's
owned it.
totally fine.
I love Final
You're
Fantasy X. I think it is what got me into JRPGs, and it was why one of the big. And I know I didn't say this last week, but it is one of the big reasons why I made a hard push for it in S tier for
Mhm.
beginner JRPGs. I was a kid when I started playing this, and I had dabbled in JRPGs before, but Final Fantasy X was the game that made me go to Blockbuster and pick every JRPG off the shelf and be like, I don't know what these games are. I have no clue what I'm getting into, but I'm playing all of them. And I would love to go back and re-experience that just fresh, because I've played it again recently and even a few years back. And while it definitely like reignites my love for that game, I would love to just be able to sit down with, not having experienced it before and just start fresh and be able to experience that for the first time again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my answer.
All right, Mags.
There's so many that I could pick for this. Honestly, it's
I know,
hard to
I feel
pick just
that.
one. But I think I'm gonna go with Xenoblade 3. I know I used that already, so I know it's kind of cheating, but I'm gonna do it.
No, I feel
because-
that. I feel it
because-
so strongly.
That game is just so good. Like it's so powerful, and it really just like causes you to appreciate life more, like deeply and fully. And sometimes, I mean, like I could play it again now and still feel that way and still learn from it. But I think the first time that I played through it, it was just so impactful in that way, and I'd love to be able to experience that again.
Yeah. I was gonna say Xenoblade 3.
Sorry,
I
you can say
probably
it too.
shouldn't say. Well,
You're retro Brandon. You don't have a retro game that you'd like to go back and experience for the first time? Modern Brandon.
I'm thinking about games that like had a major impact on me, and like if not Xenoblade 3, Xenoblade 1, which is technically retro. It's on the Wii.
Yeah, the Wii is retro now.
Yeah. I feel so old. Yeah, I don't. I'd say either Final Fantasy 9 or Xenoblade 1, because they, again, just from a story character perspective, like the way the stories escalate and the way they handled the characters were just so impactful for me, that I would love to play those again for the first time. It's one of the reasons like I would recommend those games so highly, because I love hearing people experiencing those games for the first time and like hearing their stories and their take.
Yeah.
They're just so good. They're so good. Xenoblade 3 is amazing, but Final Fantasy X is also amazing. Slam. I would agree because
I think they're all great choices. I don't know what I did, but I wasn't trying to shake you. Like I was just listening.
No, I thought you were going to be like, no.
It's
not
okay,
Final
Slam.
Fantasy
We
X.
also love 10. It's okay. Well, Max doesn't love 10, but it's okay.
It's fine though. If he wants to replay it again without any memory of it, that's fine. I'm not gonna pile on that.
All right. We have one more question.
Okay.
What is the most difficult boss you have defeated in an RPG? This can be anything from a mini boss up to a super boss. Please also include the difficulty setting you are playing on this if it applies. And for me, it's this is from Ophidian Mind, by the way. Forgot to mention that. For me, it is a level 150 Demi-Fiend in Godborn hard mode from Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance.
I've thought of mine, and I'll just to preface, I'm not one of those people that plays like really difficult games on like super hard difficulty settings. It's just not for me. And that's fine. I think it's okay. But I immediately thought of it's a sequence in Mass Effect 2 where you're on Horizon, which is kind of at the midpoint of the game, and you get to the final area. And I just remember that, and I would play it on like the harder difficulties. I just remember that segment being like, you're just like swarmed with like collectors and like all sorts of the different like levels of those enemies. And like, it's just impossible. Like, I would always dread that part when I'd replay the game because I'm like, oh, here we go. Like, I don't have the best gear because it's like in the middle of the game and not the end, but there's like all of these enemies just like swarming you, and you have to like defeat them all to get to the other side. And then as a reward for you beating that part of the game, one of your allies in Mass Effect 1 like just totally like rips you a new one and like doesn't want to even be associated with you anymore. It's like you don't even get anything good from the fight. So like it's just kind of like it's hitting you when you're already down. So that one is mine. I know it's not a JRPG, but like I consistently...
He said RPG. He didn't say J.
Yeah, I do consistently, like when I play the Mass Effect series, get stressed out about that part because it's so difficult. So
yeah,
that's fine.
That's a good one. How about you, Slam?
That is a hard one. I say that because typically I don't play games on the hardest difficulty unless I find them too easy.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dragon Quest VII Reimagined was too easy. I put that on the hardest difficulty. So I will generally say I play most games on normal, and I generally with JRPGs I grind a lot, and I kind of just make sure I'm ready to face the final boss, and I don't have the hardest time, getting through them most of the time. But I'll give a couple here. I would say the final boss in Metaphor is tough.
I've heard that one's tough. Yeah,
it's a multi-stage boss fight, and it just seems like it goes on forever. I think it took a really, really it just takes a really long time, and it does kind of. Yes, you can grind a lot, and there is some I'm not going to spoil anything, but there is some specific preparation you can do and lead up to that final boss that can make it a lot easier, but it's still quite challenging no matter how you look at it. And then the final boss, and it's been a really long time since I played this game, but it does stick out in my memory. Digital Devil Saga, Harihara, that final boss is tough. It's just like flat out, it's a difficult fight for sure. So those are the two that come to mind. But again, I don't play games on like the hardest difficulties. And if I did, I'm sure I have plenty of tougher options to list.
Yeah, for me, it is the last boss. I don't know if saying his name would spoil anything, but the last boss of Fantasian Neo Dimension. So this is a game I really, really love. I was singing its praises when it came out. But the way the game is structured is it's clearly designed for Apple Arcade. They made it harder so that you can keep paying your subscription so that you stay longer. And so part one kind of lures you into this sense of accomplishment, like, hey, you can get through it. And then part two like cranks up the difficulty. Now, I was only on normal difficulty or whatever, but the last boss is a 3-stage boss, and the reason it's so freaking hard is because the only way to beat this boss is if you have every single character in the game dialed in. and you can swap characters in. So it's kind of like Final Fantasy X. You could swap the characters in, and they each have different abilities and different like I forget what the limit break system is called, but like a limit break where you get some major effect, and you are having to time everything perfectly. You are having to use your abilities perfectly. You have to know exactly what the boss is going to do. And sometimes, even if you do it perfectly, you will still die. I fought that boss probably 3 times before I actually beat him. And I was doing it with my girls next to me, and we were like on our feet screaming when I finally took him down. It was very, very difficult. And it's probably the game I'm most proud of beating, certainly for that year, but like maybe just in general, because Fantasian just cranks it up real fast in part 2, and you have to genuinely go all in and prepare in that game. So if you can do it, it's so earned and it feels so good. But it was definitely the toughest boss I can think of. Maybe I've played a boss that was harder than that in the past, but I mean, you guys know me. I love grinding. I love breaking games. Like if I did everything I could to crack that game open and I still took 3 attempts to take that boss down, like that should tell you how hard this boss was. So shout outs to Fantasian. Loved that game. Yeah, but that was rough.
There's some tough bosses in the Souls games too that I've played, but those again, like you can prepare yourself really well for a lot of those fights and end up getting through them pretty easily.
Yeah. All right, guys, we've been here for over 2 hours, so we're going to wrap this one up. First of all, thank you for all your questions, members. If you're still here and you're not a member, join us in the Discord. We'd love to chat with you. We'd love to hear your questions. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and thanks for sticking around for our chat about these spinoffs as well. But before we wrap this up, Slam, where can everybody find you?
Slam Zany on all the things, mainly on YouTube, and I post some stuff on Twitter every once in a while. But yeah, most recently I did a Pokopia video, so go check that out. I really dive into what I love most about that game, and then I'll have a Monster Hunter Stories 3 review coming soon.
Sweet. Max, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Avenger Mags on Twitter and Blue Sky, also writing for Nintendo Force Magazine. We're working on our latest issue, which will be for May and June. And so that's exciting. I'll have reviews on Tokyo Xanadu and Monster Hunter Stories 3 in that issue, along with some other stuff. So yeah, keep an eye out.
Awesome. Love that. I'm excited about that Tokyo Xanadu review. That's great that you're actually pulling that in too.
Yeah,
Sweet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm Retro Brandon. You can find me on YouTube at Retro Brandon or on Twitter X at Nova Brand. I am in the process of getting back into the swing of video production here. It's been taking a minute because of a lot of personal things like moving and things like that, but we'll get there. Otherwise, you could find me here. That's become the joke.
Yeah.
And then on Twitter, the Twitter X, in that podcast realm, I'll just randomly tweet things and have a lot of fun over there as well. So check us out. Otherwise, if you haven't already liked, subscribed, commented, let us know what you thought about this episode below. And with all of that, we'll see you all in the next one.
See you on the next one.
Bye.
Later.